So for an increase, well, the name is quite self-explanatory. We are going to use an increase. You see, that's a noun form of the verb increase, right? You could also refer to it as a rise, or there was a growth in something, right? So these are the structures we use for increases. For decreases, what could you use? Once again, same color. We could use there was a fall, or there was a decline, or there was a drop in the number of something, right? So here we have the noun phrases. Or for fluctuation, you could say there was a fluctuation in the number of whatever. So a fluctuation. So far we have there was noun phrase. Let's do one example, huh? And you know what? I'm going to take, to make this even easier, I'm going to take these sentences that we wrote before, and I'm going to transform them one by one using the structure that we have here. Are you ready? Let's see. So we don't have the number of, right? So instead of starting with the subject, this time the subject comes after. So I'm going to delete this. Okay? Instead, I'm going to use there was. And you know what? To make this also color-coded, I'll follow the color yellow for the fixed parts. So watch. I'm going to say there are. Oh, I'm sorry, there was. Okay. So here it says dramatically went up. Okay. Now, check it out. I can take the same adverb that I had before and change it into an adjective. The original sentence was, the previous sentence was, the number of students dramatically went up. So here I'm going to say there was a dramatic. Now, went up. Remember, I could say increase, rise, growth. I'm going to say a dramatic rise. Okay, so far are you with me? Should be pretty easy. Then I have another part, which is part of the structure, which is in, and then I'm going to add my subject in the number of students. And then finally, I'm going to mention my adverb. And you know what? I can just pretty much copy and paste this here. Let's read the sentence. There was a dramatic rise in the number of students by 75% from January to March. You see, I'm following this same structure. Now, bear with me. I'm gonna basically rewrite all of these. Okay. The second sentence was the number of students decreased slowly from 5% to 80% between January and March. You know what? I'm feeling adventurous today, so I'm gonna create more variety. So what can I do? Well, I'll start with the adverb. I'll start with this adverb. My sentence will begin with between January and March. Now, very important tip here. Whenever you start with an adverb of time, like between January and March, you always need a comma. So there should be a comma after the initial adverb. Okay, so between January and March, what next? The fixed structure. There was. So I'm just going to copy that here. So from January to March, there was. Now, there was what? Decreased slowly has to change into a noun form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say there was, whoops, the color should be purple. I'm changing it into a noun. So I'm going to say there was a slow decrease, or there was a slow decline. Remember, decline was also a verb that I could use. And then what do I need to say? I need to say in something. So here, I'm going to say there was a slow decline in, and then the subject will be repeated. And guess what? At the end, I'm going to add the adverb for quantity. So let's read the sentence. Let's see if this makes sense. between January and March, there was a slow decline in the number of students by 75%. Sounds good, right? Okay, let's do the next one. So decreased slowly, we've done this one. What about the one that focuses on fluctuation? I'm gonna make some more changes. So one more time. Gonna start with the yellow part. Fixed expression, there was. Okay, but then this one, it's describing a fluctuation. So what am I gonna say? I'm gonna say there was a fluctuation. There was a fluctuation, and then I have to say in something. So there was a fluctuation in what? The number of students. Okay, and then I'm going to mention from January to March, the time period as well. Here, this comes at the end, and voila. Now, one thing I've missed in my example is this, around 20%. Where does this go? So we could say there was a fluctuation around 20% in the number of students from January to March. You see, every single element in the original verb phrase structure made its way to this new structure that I have. And let's do this last one as well. So check it out. The number of students doubled from March to the end of April. So this time, once again, I'm going to start my sentence with an initial adverb. Okay? Just to demonstrate how these changes can be, and these variations can be applied to your response. So from March to the end of April, and then I'm going to say there was. Now, we had a proportional change last time, so we said it doubled, right? So here, instead of double, I could perhaps say something like a dramatic rise or a dramatic growth. Notice when I say a dramatic growth, it does not necessarily indicate that it was doubled, but when something doubles, it's considered a great increase, right? So it's doubled essentially. So we could call it a dramatic growth because the structure that we have for noun phrases cannot be as easily used to describe proportional changes, such as doubling or half, reducing to a half or something along those lines. So we could say there was a dramatic growth, and then we're going to mention the subject, right? So in, and then you add the number of students to the end. And then if it doubled, then maybe you could add the amount in detail by saying from 20% to 40%, which is essentially a doubling. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this link with other people who may find this content useful. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.